I was inspired by some of the artists that are touring right now. It gave me some new ideas. It made me feel really good about investing in my show and the type of technology that I see people are using. It just made me think outside the box to see how, honestly, artists that come from the K-pop world, how they choose to do things. It has definitely been an inspiration.
You have two young ones now. How are you approaching parenting? Your kids are like Gen Z, right? Gen Alpha, the little ones. I mean, what are you kind of learning from them?
We just did another TikTok over the weekend, and I'm like, okay, I hope that I'm doing the right thing. They're leading the charge. I'm like, all right, cool. This is another one. It was a cool one, but I always run things by them just to make certain that, hey, is this cool? You like this? This good? All right, cool. We read a lot. We read a lot of books together. But I'm challenging them to utilize their imagination, and instead of spending time in front of the screen, we spend time in the yard. We stay outside, we stay mobile, we stay active. They have, a ridiculous schedule. Their schedule is probably more hectic than mine. They're like gymnastics and swimming, and then she's riding around in their little red Corvette. But I'm hoping that they won't be as reliant and feel justified by what people feel about them through Instagram and kind of social engagement. Not that it's wrong, but it doesn't dictate who they are. Artist development is something that is important to me, but also to allowing artists to naturally, organically be who they are in this time is just as important. I think that we have yet to see what this, past 10, 20, 15 years of artists will be in the next 30 years. So it starts with, first and foremost, impressions. And then if I'm impressed, then maybe I can impress upon them to be able to think about a long-term career, and we can build together. It's making people buy into an idea that's more than just a record. When you think about kingdom building, it's about building a culture, building an idea, an identity, something that recognizes culture, both in the way it sounds, the way it feels, the way it looks, the way it smells, all of those things, right? When you think of country music, I can think of so many things, from cowboys, cowboy hats, boots, guitars, so many things, right? And in hip hop, I can think of so many things. I think of, breakdancing, I think of linoleum, I think of the lifestyle, I think of, the opulence of what that has brought, whether it's the clothes or the cars or the shoes or the jewelry or any of those things, makeup, lifestyle. So for me, when I think of kingdom building, I'm taking the cues from, what was relevant culturally, and maybe finding another way of dialoguing through other means, how things look, how they feel, the texture of them, the colors of them, what they bring you in terms of an experience, whether it feels seductive, sexual, whether it feels, like a party, whatever it might be.
What was your first concert that you ever went to?
First concert that I went to was an Ice-T concert in Chattanooga, Tennessee at UTC Arena. Second concert I ever went to, which was a little bit more along my speed, was New Edition.
Wow.
That was the first real concert that I went to. First gifted tickets was Ice-T.
Wow. How old were you?
Old enough to be invited by my aunt, who was given these tickets as a gift. She worked for the police department. And he had a song out called Cop Killers at the time. Kind of crazy how that all worked out. What's crazier is that I happened to be at the Boys and Girls Club, and he dropped by, and oddly enough, being able to see him talk to us in the gymnasium in Highland Park in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it it gave me a spark, like, wait a minute, so you can be an entertainer and have a girl that looks like that, because he had a beautiful wife. I was like, man, that looks cool. I might want to do that. I really do love what I do, and I am really excited about performing for my fans. It's the one thing that I really love to do more than anything. Sure, I like to make music. Sure, I like to make videos and stuff like that, but and you know, social content and be socially engaged in interviews and talk and stuff like that. Make movies. I really enjoyed that impromptu improv moment that happens between you and the audience. Even if there's choreography and a ton of other things that you put together as a show, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that feeling. You know, in theater, you know, there's a calculated process of how they create something to make people feel something, but live is live. And it's like you're there with the person, you're there with the artist that you love, you're there with the person that you admire, and they're giving you their all in that moment, if they are. But that's always been the treat for me.
Are you hoping at all to get back into the acting world?
I mean, well, judging from the success that Alicia Keys has had, and so many incredible other artists or either creators who come from, you know, the entertainment world to now kind of merge over into, you know, the theatrical space, live Broadway type of performance. I love to do that. I love to produce TV shows. I'd love to produce movies. I'd love to act in movies. I'd love to take some of the creative license to reimagine certain musical moments in my life. I'll never get a chance to fully explain each album in its entirety, right? The singles probably did a pretty significant job, and if people got a chance to see me live, then they got a little bit more of those songs from that album. But with the play, you could actually really storytell, take your time, and really help people understand what the motivation of 8701 was, what the motivation of Raymond versus Raymond was, what the motivation of looking for myself was really about. I don't like limits, and I think I've lived my life within limits and bounds for so long that I just want to break all the boundaries and just, you know, go back and reimagine some of the things because I didn't get a chance to share it, you know. And that's just things that, you know, I read or something that I'm really intrigued about like, wait a minute, if I told this, we love this story, we are very familiar with this story already. Imagine if we chose to give a different perspective or put it in a different filter or show it in a different way. To me, that right there kind of redefines the boundaries that we have in entertainment. You know, as artists, you know, we're given like a very specific amount of money that you give all of your rights and everything away to a record company and they exploit them. And then there you are, you're stuck going to promote a single. By the way, you're paying for everything that they promote, but you don't get a chance to really convey your full vision. So being able to turn the corner after having success with those albums and go back and say, wait a minute, what if we do a TV show about that? What if we really allow people to go all the way into the storytelling and maybe really explain what Confessions is really about, what the feeling and the culture of Confessions is. If I can really go into the mindset of what it is to be inspired by music from 2001 all the way back to 1987, then you'll really understand what 8701 is about. So it's like that musical journey could be fun. That musical journey and experience creates new ideas, new limits, and hopes that I could just, you know, stay creative. That's my art, you know. It's like every installation that every artist has. In the next season, they're coming up with their new bright idea. That's who I am. That's where I'm able to play.